Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Common Sense Crypto Channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. We're also going to talk about the banks. U.S. banks have over $620 billion in unrealized losses, according to the FDIC. Now, I feel the FDIC knows something much bigger is about to happen. Why do you think they had that meeting where they were talking about bail-ins? According to FDIC Chairman Martin Gruenberg, U.S. banks have over $620 billion in unrealized losses. Moreover, regarding the reality that the downfall of SVB was not directly an isolated incident in what could become an issue for several banks within the country. If several banks were to fall all at once, the FDIC cannot back those losses. People will not be made whole. Specifically, CNN noted that the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank brought to light the reality of a widening gap between the value large lenders place on the bonds they hold and what they're actually worth on the market. I believe everyone's preparing for the worst, and they're not even talking about this all that much on the mainstream media news. They're not giving all the facts. People lining up to pull money out of First Republic Bank in Brentwood, LA this weekend. Wealthy neighborhood with many uninsured accounts over $250,000. Yeah, if you have over $250,000, you're only insured up to $250,000. A lot of people don't even realize that. The bank stock is down 33% in last week. Is this what the start of a bank run looks like? You know, last year I was pointing out this happening in other countries around the world, and people every single time in the comment section said, this is never going to happen in the US. The government would never allow this. But here we are now, and it's happening here as well. 3/9/2023, SVB filed 424B2 with SEC one day before they crashed. 3/10/2023, one day after filing, SVB went into receivership, and these banks, Bank of America, Citi, JP Morgan, MS, GS, WF, filed 424B2. Major banks have been selling billions of notes to protect their securities from a market crash. I feel SVB was the first, and now we're going to see a domino effect happen. Janet Yellen says the federal government won't bail out Silicon Valley Bank. So now that they're not going to bail out this bank, I believe it's going to cause bank runs to happen at other banks now because people are starting to worry about their money. They're starting to worry about the banking system. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the U.S. government won't bail out Silicon Valley Bank as it did with other financial institutions during the 2008 financial crisis, but she noted that regulators are working to ensure people and businesses with money in the failed bank would be made whole. So I hope these people get their money out. I really do, because they're hardworking people. All they trust in the bank, and they feel it's a secure place to hold their money. But then something like this happens. But once they are made whole, hopefully they get away from the bank altogether. Hopefully they find another place to store their money. Maybe buy gold or silver, or maybe buy some crypto. Breaking: before the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, executives sold a lot of their shares. Gregory Becker, CEO, sold 11% on February 27, 2023. Michael Zucker, General Counsel, 19% on February 5th. Daniel Beck, CFO, sold 32% on February 27th. Michelle Draper, CMO, sold 25% on February 1st. Unusual? And you ever take notice, whenever something like this happens, the CEOs always walk away multimillionaires. It happened in '08, and it looks like it's going to happen again. Remember that article about Ripple being valued at $15 billion and being cash flow positive and having $1 billion in the bank? Which bank are banks? How much in SVB? We are still waiting for a Ripple announcement. Now, people are worried about Ripple and how much money they stored at SVB as well. And Ripple's CTO assures clarity on SVB exposure with imminent statement. So it looks like we're going to get a statement at some point saying how much Ripple had tied to SVB. But I still feel Ripple is such a strong company. They're going to push forward no matter what. And I'm sure that $1 billion wasn't only stored in one bank. In the wake of the USDC DPEG event, Austin, Texas-based blockchain financial service Reaper Financial, which focuses on acquiring and burning digital assets, has announced that it's converting the USDC in its permanent drip fund to XRP. Due to a potential DPEG event, the USDC in the permanent drip fund has been converted to XRP until stability returns. We will update as the situation evolves, the Ripple lawsuit participant stated in a tweet. So it looks like Reaper Financial seems to trust XRP to store their money. But I actually bought USDC when it depegged because I trust in Circle and I feel it's going to repeg back to $1. I don't suggest other people to go do that. I mean, I seen it as something else and I thought it's an opportunity to easily get a 6% gain. Circle pledges to stand behind USDC and cover missing liquidity in failed Silicon Valley Bank. Circle intends to use corporate funds to fill the gap, including external capital, on the back of Silicon Valley Bank's shutdown. On Friday, Circle disclosed that $3.3 billion of the cash reserves backing US dollar coin, the second largest stablecoin by market cap, were stuck at this shuttered SVB. The company is hopeful that the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, will get a quick buyer for SVB that will ensure that all depositors are made whole, according to a statement. But in the case that Circle does not receive 100% of the $3.3 billion held at SVB, the stablecoin issuer has assured that it will cover the shortfall using corporate resources involving external capital if necessary. And that's why I bought USDC, because they're going to repeg it to $1. So now we see Jim Cramer with Bitcoin below $20,000. Convert all your crypto holdings to USDC immediately to protect your capital as Bitcoin keeps dumping. USDC is the safest stablecoin, period. However, I do feel that USDC is safe. I said it before, I trust it more than Tether. But when Jim Cramer is calling for something to happen, like he tells you to do one thing, always do the opposite. Because Jim Cramer always seems to be wrong. Hopes high for XRP as resolution of key SEC versus Ripple case expected any time now. XRP prices leaped today as investors grew hopeful the Ripple SEC lawsuit will likely conclude in the next coming weeks. This means we could finally see the light at the end of the litigation tunnel. Most importantly, the chances of the case ending in Ripple's favor are looking better each day. Now, how many of you feel that they're going to wrap up the Ripple case and somehow the banks are going to utilize XRP and all that on-demand liquidity to make themselves whole? I feel that that could be happening at some point because think about it, Bank of America, they're ready to go live with XRP as soon as tomorrow. And why would they want to do that so quick? Why are they hoping that this case ends? Because I feel Bank of America has a lot of liquidity issues as well as a lot of the other US banks. But I feel that everything around this case is meant, and it has a date that it's supposed to come to an end. Whatever that date is, we don't know. But I feel that everything was a delay to a specific time. Ripple still hiring while most companies deal with uncertainty due to Silicon Valley Bank collapse. And whenever things look like they're at their worst, Ripple is always hiring. That's why I always said I felt like XRP is one of the safest investments you could ever make in your lifetime. So while most crypto-centered businesses have cut a large amount of their workforce in the last 2 years, Ripple is doing the exact opposite. According to Ripple's website, they have over 73 openings available. And I mean, these are big openings, and it's all around the world. Some of them are here in the US, others are in Canada, some in the UK. Because everybody's getting ready for what's coming next, in my opinion. I believe Ripple is getting prepared as well. At some point, I feel that ODL is going to go live all throughout the world. And it's just a matter of time. Even with Swift coming up with alternatives to Ripple and all that nonsense, year over year, Ripple's going to steal business away from Swift. Year over year, more and more corridors are going to open up using on-demand liquidity, utilizing XRP. That's why I will never sell my XRP. I see the value in it. I see where it's going in the future. Most XRP holders understand that now. They're starting to see everything come together. They could use XRP Ledger or any other payment rail. The key is building the links to the networks, exactly what Ripple has been doing with fiat for the last 10 plus years. Anthony Welfare, CBDC advisor. And Ripple's been out there laying all this groundwork for years. And people still don't understand that. They say, well, that's just Ripple. But if you ever listen to Brad Garlinghouse, RippleNet gets them in the door. Then all of a sudden, the secret sauce follows, XRP and that on-demand liquidity. But right now, we're at a time where we're seeing major things happen throughout the world. And it's a great time to be a crypto investor. Because if you weren't invested in crypto, you would have no clue what's really going on. But because you invest in crypto, you hear all the news, the real news, not what the mainstream media news pushes to people. You get to see the facts in the banking system, how it's falling apart. You see all the holes in the current financial system, bringing it crashing down slowly, like an agonizing death. But at some point, when this current financial system falls and the new one goes online, that's when everyone will see why they were holding XRP for such a long time. Because nothing gets built in a day. And that's why we're holding XRP so long, waiting for the next major run up. Because things are getting worked out. Things are getting built all around the world. What comes next is the euphoric green candles. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.